And welcome back to Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr. Joining me, Juan Zarate. He's our national security analyst. Juan, good to see you.
Bob, great seeing you.
So there's been a lot of focus on ISIS. They're kind of like the hot terror group of the moment. But we now learn about a threat coming from Syria involving core al-Qaeda. Tell me about this.
Well, Bob, this is a story you broke and did remarkable reporting on last week and sort of led the charge on all the focus on this. But what you have basically is an al-Qaeda senior leadership caravan that's moved from the territories we've known them to be in Afghanistan, Pakistan, to now reside in Syria and are operating there as sort of an outpost of al-Qaeda core seeking to attack the West. And what disturbs, I think, counterterrorism officials is not only that you've got these senior leaders there in this environment, but they are beginning to link other elements of the al-Qaeda universe, like al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, to then plot against the West. And so the problem of Syria is not just foreign fighters flowing in and out, which is a huge enough problem as it is, but it's the problem that you may have an al-Qaeda senior group designing and orchestrating some of the activity to attack the West.
So these are guys who were sent there by Zawahiri, the al-Qaeda chief. They answer to him, they're loyal to him, and they're operating now in an environment that's so chaotic that they, in essence, have cover. They can sit there and work on plots instead of trying to control territory.
Yeah, Syria provides safe haven, so there's breathing space for these guys to operate. It gives them connectivity with other groups. It also gives them access to foreign fighters, Westerners who may be coming in, who could be very useful in sending back into Europe or into the United States or Canada. So it's a ripe environment. It's a little bit like Western Pakistan at the height of when the federally administered tribal areas were a real safe haven for al-Qaeda, and you saw all of these groups in a milieu of fighters training and coordinating, and that's when you saw lots of external plotting happen. So I think officials are worried that this is a safe haven for al-Qaeda in addition to ISIL and ISIS. And one thing to keep in mind, Bob, it's not as if these groups have to compete to the death with each other. They can exist in parallel, and that's what you see happening in Syria. They may not like each other, al-Qaeda and ISIL, but they may not ultimately disrupt each other. They may act in concert.
Let me ask you, how dangerous do you think it is that Zawahiri, the leader of al-Qaeda core, may be feeling the heat here, maybe feeling like I'm not relevant anymore? I mean, an attack puts him back on the map.
Yeah, I think there's a competition to demonstrate relevance. That matters for donors, that matters for leadership of this broader movement, and there is a bit of competition for that. So there is a drive to try to demonstrate that they can be effective, and in particular, hitting the head of the snake, the United States, and that's why Western counterterrorism officials are worried.
And just quickly, there seems to be at least some connectivity between this group in Syria and the bomb maker and the expertise that's coming out of Yemen. That's really troubling because the guys in Yemen know how to build explosives.
Yeah, incredibly troubling. We've been worried about al-Asiri in Yemen for some time, in part because he's a master designer to evade security measures in the bomb making. He's also training others, and now to the extent that he's connecting and providing his expertise to other branches of al-Qaeda, like the group in Syria, that's really dangerous. And it portends a problem that I think we've worried about for some time, even when I was at the White House, which is if these regional outposts of al-Qaeda begin to interact and support each other, like al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and Boko Haram in West Africa, or AQAP and al-Shabaab, or now AQAP and the group in Syria. That creates a whole new dynamic for a global platform that is really threatening to the West. And with al-Asiri, you have an accelerant with the bomb expertise.
Very troubling. Juan, thanks as always.
Thank you, Bob.
And thanks to you for watching Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr. We'll see you next time.